I'm not exactly sure how the United States can continue to maintain itself as the beacon of light and hope for countries around the world, for citizens abroad that dream of coming to the United States when we have a two-tiered justice system, where one side appears to be attempting to dissolve the Constitution in an effort to retain power. You don't have to like January 6th to see the disproportionate sentencing being meted out depending on which political ideology you align with. Proudboy Joe Biggs today was sentenced to 17 years and his fellow Proudboy to 15 years. Their crimes: Joe Biggs, he pushed over a gate protecting the Capitol. His fellow Proud Boy threw an object at a police officer. Shouldn't have done it. Should you go to jail? Sure, absolutely. How long should you get? 6 months? A year? 2 years? It's debatable. I would imagine that 2 years, even given the fact that it was at the Capitol, is pretty much maximum, because what we should be doing is we should be turning down the heat, because right now the United States is at a high simmer and it's starting to boil over. And when you see, once again, as I stated at the beginning, disproportionate sentencing, and what I'm talking about, when you have BLM lawyers in New York City that threw Molotov cocktails at cop cars and they get 1 year in prison, or you have those who burned down the police precinct in Minneapolis who got 4 years. Which is way worse, burning down a police precinct or throwing an object at a cop? Both no-nos. One seems to tip the scales pretty dramatically on the side of evil, of bad. Which is worse, pushing over a barricade or throwing a Molotov cocktail into a police car? You tell me. Let's be honest about it. I don't know that the left can be. And that is the problem, because right now, as I said, it is coming to a boil. You can put your hand over that pot and you can feel the heat coming off of it, because everybody is seeing Trump's indictments as a political witch hunt. We are seeing, as I stated once again, the disproportionate sentencing being given depending on political ideology. And it is evil and it is wrong. And the time has come, in my opinion, not for violence. Let's stay away from that, because that is exactly what they want, so that they can lock you down, so that they can come after you even more. This politicized Department of Justice that seems to be answering to China, because that who is held the greatest vested interest in seeing America literally disintegrate. But given that, I think for our sanity, for our peace of mind, for our well-being, we do need a national divorce. If you're on the blue team, you go live in California, in Washington, in Oregon, in Massachusetts. And if you're on the red team, come to Florida, come to Texas, come to Montana and Idaho. Why don't we just divide up the land and see which ideology prospers in the long term? Because nobody will want to live in blue cities, Hussein, where anarchy is going on, where if you own a store, somebody is legally, or not legally, able to walk in and take $950 out, and the prosecutor won't even look at the case, and the police won't arrest you because it's a complete waste of their time. You'll see where disintegration occurs and which side will prosper, those who enforce the law. And with this disproportionate sentencing, we are seeing a further divide in America. Rather than try to forgive and move on, they sentence this man to 17 years in prison. Joe Biggs, it's awful. It is evil, especially, as I said, when you compare it to burning down the police precinct in Minnesota 4 years, or throwing the Molotov cocktail in the cop cars in New York 1 year once again. You guys tell me, baby, I want a divorce. You've been robbing, you've been cheating, you've been lying, and then you're calling it out on me. What the Democrats are doing are projecting their ills, their evils, their lies onto the rest of the population, trying to stir them up so that they can paint them on the media, which they own, as the evildoers. They are projecting their sins upon thee. And the moment that you react in a negative manner, they bash you over the head with a club. And I will not live with a partner that does that. So why don't you take your part of the country? We'll take our part of the country. Maybe we can align on national defense, which you are trying to wokeify. But I do believe that the time has come for a national divorce. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. But frankly, I want sanity. I want security. I want peace of mind. I want what people used to value. I personally don't think it's especially good or noble to transition children below the age of 18. To tell the same kids that they're absolutely correct in terms of their self-assessment of hating who they were born as, and that they need to transition using this modern magical technology that somehow gives big pharma and these butcher surgeon doctors tons of money. I am not going to put up with that. I am not going to see you do that to our children, nor am I going to see you allow somebody to ransack our houses and destroy it because they have the right skin color, or because you think that these poor people weren't tickled enough as children. I want a divorce, baby. You and I are done. Blue team, go home, because I'm not playing with you. I'm taking my ball, I'm going home.